Ever feel like the world just doesn't get introverts? You're not alone. Welcome to the Stay Introverted podcast. We're your hosts, Steph Laffey and Jay Coleman, here to dive into life from an introvert's perspective.
Each week we break down everything, from relationships and work to social dynamics and self-care, all while busting myths, sharing personal stories, and celebrating the quiet power of introversion. So, if you're ready to embrace your introverted side, let's get into it.
Welcome back, everyone. What's going on? How you doing, Steph?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. As you can tell, I am not in my usual spot. I am at an undisclosed location.
Oh, can you tell us more, or is that the most you're willing to give?
Nah, yeah, I'll tell you. I'm in New Jersey right now. I'm visiting Jersey in New York because it is my birthday weekend.
Nice. What do you have planned for the weekend?
Food. That is it.
I love it.
That is it.
Food, and more food.
That's pretty much it. Food, and I'm going to be reading comic books. That's my plan.
Nice. I love that.
Yep.
What food are you getting that you can't get in Boston?
So I actually just got in. The first place I went was to one of my favorite Jamaica spots in Queens. They gave me some beef patties, and chicken patties. So that's always a treat. And then I went further in Queens to go to my favorite fish and chip spot, called Boulevard Fish and Chips.
Okay. They're very creative on the name.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Farmers Boulevard Fish and Chips, I guess.
Right.
it's
Nice.
Yeah, but like that spot has been there, I think, at least I want to say 40 years.
Oh, so it's a staple.
It really is.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's always good to kind of go back there when I'm home. I also managed to, while they were cooking the food, managed to just do a little driving around. I drove past my old high school, so that's always fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan tomorrow. Probably going to get some more fish, and I'll kind of wing it from there.
Nice. And then Sunday, you and I are actually getting lunch, and
Yep.
there is lots of fish on that menu. So.
Yep. I am a big seafood person.
Me too. So Sean and I actually we have this whole birthday extravaganza for the next month planned.
Nice.
Kind of by accident. But we're going to this restaurant. It's like a Michelin star tasting menu. And it's all fish. Like every single course is fish.
That's awesome.
And the person who told me about it said, there's this 8-course fish tasting menu, but the reason that I don't want to go there is because it's all fish. So I looked it up, and I was like, we're going. And it's so funny. It's so funny how some people just hate it and some people just love it.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I grew up on. Yeah, we didn't eat a lot of red meat, but definitely had some seafood, man. So
yeah,
and it's weird because I live Lexington, but close enough to Boston where that it shouldn't be a problem, but it's just it really is a hassle trying to get fresh seafood over by where I live. I don't get it.
That is weird.
It is, and then even in California, I faced the same problem. It was getting fresh off the boat seafood was just it was damn near impossible. But there are a whole bunch of restaurants along the water that charge 50% upcharge for a small piece of haddock. So
right.
I don't know. It's
New York City is the same way. There's not a lot of seafood restaurants, so we find that we have to go to Greek or Spanish places to get seafood.
But yeah, so I'll do it. Also, I actually got me a little cooler because there is a spot in Queens that I'm going back to tomorrow that actually it's a seafood market. So I'm about to load up and take that back home. So He,
Smart.
listen, I came with a game plan.
I love that. A man with a plan.
Man with a plan.
That's awesome. Well, happy 41.
41.
Yeah. How do you feel? Because we did a birthday episode last year, and that
Mm-hmm.
was like on the brink of like new decade. Like, I don't know. I forget what we said really, but how are you feeling this year compared to last year?
So this year compared to last year, I actually feel a lot better. Like
Me
you and
too.
I,
Okay, you go first, but yeah.
well, you and I have, we talked about this both on and off the podcast. Like 2024 was probably like one of my worst years ever. Just from like
Hmm.
a personal standpoint, business, employment, all the things.
Was
Like
it already feeling that way? I can't remember. Was it already feeling that way coming into your birthday?
no, it was kind of
Okay.
kind of meh, but it just went downhill pretty much as
Hmm.
the year went on. But like coming into this year, I just made it a point that I'm only going to worry about and work on the things that I can control, and that's helped. Like
Wow.
I've been in a very good space. Um,
I love that.
I made like even like health wise, I was like just in trouble. Like in October, I went from my annual checkup, and I always get blood work done. My blood sugar was like a 6. That's like smack dab in the middle of pre-diabetic. So I made
Wow.
just so many different changes, and then last well 2 weeks ago, I did a follow up checkup. Did another round of blood work, and everything came back in there, no more ranges. So
Wow.
my doctor was happy. I was like, yeah, just I'm trying to just control what I can control. Have a new job, which is turning out good. My mom
Awesome.
has a new job, which she likes. It's closer to home.
Wow.
I actually put, I made it a point to invest in myself, meaning invest in myself, invest in my business. So, you remember Dee, right? We had her on the
Yeah.
show. I'm working with her, to,
Amazing.
yeah, she's my consultant. So shout out Dee. We're
Oh,
going
we
to,
gotta get better. We gotta back on.
yes, we do. She's going to help me with my marketing and whatnot. So I'm just trying to try to keep moving forward. And it's so far things are looking up. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm definitely in a better space, health wise, emotionally, mentally, all the ways. I'm
I love
in a
it.
better asset. What about you?
Well, first of all, I love to hear that. I think that like that's sometimes, you need that like tough year, tough time to like just say, you know what, enough is enough. Like
Mhm.
I'm making the changes. Like my life is in my hands. So I love that. I hate that you had to have a rough year to get there, but in a way, like maybe that was like the kick in the ass that you needed to like take control for this year. Um, so I was dreading turning 30 so much. Like I really was having such a hard time coming into 30. So for me, 2023 was like my really hard year. Actually 2021 until 2023 were just shit, shittier and then not as bad. And then I felt like 2024 was like my year. There was a 6 week period in 2024 after I turned 30 that I was just really having a hard time. It was like after I got out of my boot after I broke my foot.
Hmm.
For some reason, like it wasn't having a broken foot that messed me up. It was after having a broken foot. I just couldn't get back into the swing of things of life. And I was in such a funk after. I was completely fine with the broken foot. It was just the afterwards that I don't, for some reason I couldn't get back into it. But aside from that 6-ish week period, like I had a really good year. Um, kind of because of the things that you're talking about, like what you're doing now is like I took ownership of my life. And I stopped letting things, like I started taking ownership of all the things that I could take ownership of my finances. Like before last year, I used to like not log into my bank account. I would just avoid it. Um, and now like I have a budget that I follow, and that is like we always have enough money for life and then some. Um, our credit cards are being paid off. We have enough to like actually enjoy life. Like it's great. My health, I'm probably in the best shape that I've ever been in right now.
Nice.
Um, alcohol and food, I completely changed my relationship with. Like, whereas before, anytime I would have like ice cream, let's say, I would like overdo it, you know? Same with alcohol, I would overdo it. And it was like, it was almost like I felt like I was never gonna have fun again if I didn't enjoy this moment right now. And now I just don't even really have a desire for either.
Okay.
Um, on my birthday, I'll have a cannoli, but like, that's enough, you know? Like, I feel like I'm satiated from like a little bit, a little taste of something rather than like, I'm tired of yo-yo dieting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm tired of like not drinking alcohol and then like going crazy for a couple months and drinking way too much and then being a moron. So I feel like I really nailed home the moderation thing. So that's good.
Yeah.
Um, and just, I guess my relationship with Sean's a lot better, my relationship with my family and my parents. One thing that I did that really helped, it's gonna sound really cheesy, but over the last couple of weeks, at night, instead of going on social media, I have been spending like half an hour or so a night just writing out my values and my goals and like my rules for like how do I know I'm living by my values? Um, looking over my calendar from the last couple of weeks to see, okay, are the things that I'm doing actually aligned with the things that I value the most? Things like that. Um, and I found it so valuable for myself. Like I think that it's, I don't know, I'm in a good place. I like 31. I'm not
Nice.
even 31 yet, but I'm almost there.
Nice. That's awesome. And
That is
I love
such a
it.
long rant.
No, it is awesome. I mean, I think, I think it just shows up, both of us going into our respective birthdays, we're in a good place. I like that you mentioned,
Absolutely.
kind of your new daily routine, because that's something that I also did. I would say the last month, I've been like setting aside time to just read for like an hour and change, like every
Mm,
day. Um, and I realized that's something that I really missed. Like I love reading, and I just haven't really had a
yeah,
chance to read for the sake of reading. Like it was like I read the paper or I read articles or things that I need to learn, but to actually just sit with a book that I want to read or a graphic novel or whatever. I
right,
hadn't done that on a regular basis in years. So
right.
every night, for a half hour, I'm just going through a book, comic book, whatever. I actually brought like 10 comics here, so I'm gonna get in those over the
Nice.
weekend. Yeah.
I love that. So you're reading mostly comics and like what else?
So I would say half comics and half like fiction, motivational books. I like to
Hmm.
read at least like two books at the same time. So I'm reading like a comic book, and then I'm reading "Let Them" by Mel Robbins. Um,
You're the 85th person this month that has mentioned that book. I swear to God. I need to get my hands on it.
yes, it's a good book. It's a very good book.
I love that. My mom is like obsessed with her Mel Robbins podcast. So
Hmm.
she's like constantly quoting it to me. I'm like, did you just discover personal development? Like, I love
Yeah.
you. But did you just discover this world? You should keep listening, keep quoting it. It's just funny. But you know what the problem is with that book is they don't have any licenses of it on Libby or my other library app.
Hmm.
Like they only have like limited copies and it says like I have to wait like 27 weeks or something, which is so annoying. Um, I guess I could go to the regular library, but I don't, I'm so lazy. And I could order it on Amazon, but I don't know. I can't justify spending $20 on a book every single time. Like I never reread a book. And I read so much and it's like maybe I should get a Kindle. I'm gonna get a Kindle. I
That
just
might
talked
work.
myself through that. Thanks for the pep talk.
There you go. Yeah. See, I mean, I am kind of the same way. Like, I just want to read it once. That's why
Right,
I do go to my local library and get books or comic books. I'm fortunate that they have a nice an actual like wall of like graphic novels and comics. So I've been
right.
reading those, but I'm considering like joining. I think it's called like Uh, basically, it's like the site for Marvel, and there's one for DC Comics where you kind of catch up and read like every issue ever.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so like I might end up doing that. It's conflicting because on the one hand, I like ownership, and it seems like
Hmm.
these things you're just kind of like renting, but at the same time, I'm only going to read them once.
Right,
So it's like, I'll just read like 100 of them a month to make me feel better about spending whatever it costs.
right. Yeah, I mean, I wish, I mean, this probably does exist in some capacity. Like, I wish I was part of like a book exchange, like a personal development book exchange where
Hmm.
like we all just like everybody buys a book and then we all just swap. Like, I mail mine to you, you mail hers to you. Oh, maybe I should start that.
There you go.
I take such bad care of my books though. Like, by the time I get them, it's like used, but like in like pretty much new. And by
Hmm.
the time I'm done with it, it's like, what the fuck happened to this thing? I don't know if that would work too well for me. Um, I'm good with library books, but for some reason with my own books, I'm terrible.
All right, fair enough.
Maybe it's something to work on this year.
Yes. Um, we actually have another. There's just another March birthday for someone that we know.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Katrina Majorleo. I hope I said that correctly.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I think hers is the 25th. So.
Wow, you have a good memory. I was just talking to her the other day because I'm the book that I'm actually speaking of books.
Hmm.
Um, I'm reading this book called Do Less. Um, and it's just about how like women tend to take on so much and will be more productive and more effective if we actually do less rather than trying to do more. And if we focus on doing what's important rather than what's urgent. Very good book. So I shared it to my story and she asked about it and she ended up ordering a copy like that from that conversation. She's also reading Let Them, which is interesting. um, so that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, my best friend actually from growing up is the same day as me. She's March 23rd.
Okay.
So,
Nice birthday twin.
birthday twins, best friends. We always joke, like, would we be friends if we didn't have the same birthday?
Oh, yeah. So, same day, but you're both born the same year.
Yep, same year. She's 5 hours younger than me.
All
And
right.
then, and so what was crazy is at, so one of Sean's fraternity brothers is also March 23rd.
Okay.
And they were both, like, he was a groomsman in our wedding and she was a bridesmaid. So we would joke, like, is anybody in this wedding party not born on March 23rd? Raise your hand.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, do you know anybody born on your birthday, March 8th?
Like no friends, but there are a couple. There are a few celebrities that are
Okay,
athletes. So like, I think Kenny Smith,
okay,
uh, played, former basketball player, from Queens also. So there's that. He
nice.
was born March 8th, but in the '60s. And then Marcus Spears, he's a former football player. He was born March 8th.
Okay.
Um, there's some like historical things that have happened on March 8th. The New York Stock Exchange was first started on March 8th, um,
Wow.
which is why I like investments and finance. So all right,
I love that.
yeah.
Okay.
And then March 8th is also International Women's Day.
I was gonna say that. I thought so, but for some reason, I also convinced myself that it was always on a Wednesday for some reason. So I was like, maybe it's just the second Wednesday of every month. Maybe it's,
Mhm.
or no, the first Wednesday. I don't know. No, it has to be the second Wednesday. If it was the 8th. But then I was like, but wait, I feel like it's on the 8th every year, so that wouldn't make
Yeah,
sense.
but yeah,
um,
I think I'm going to make some content about International Women's Day.
I like that. And your birthday or just International Women's Day?
Just International Women's Day. I might like um shout out like women that have helped me in my life.
Well, I
But
better be on
yeah,
that
you're on that list. Don't worry.
list. No pressure.
No pressure.
Uh, I, so have, I think I'm just like rebellious. I don't like days like that. I don't like any kind of like, oh, like International Women's Day, like let's celebrate women. I personally think we should celebrate women all the time
True.
because we're awesome. Like, I don't really like Valentine's Day either. I think that we should celebrate our love all the time. I don't like Mother's Day like, I just don't like all these Hallmark holidays.
Hmm.
International Women's Day, I guess, is a little bit different because there's a need for it around the world for sure. I don't really know it necessarily in this country, but like in other countries where women are like persecuted and like forced to do horrible, like, yeah, like maybe we need that.
Hmm.
But I just feel like we celebrate this day and then for the other 364 days, it's like, okay. Like, do we just go back to not caring?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't. It's actually March itself is Women's Month, so
Is it?
it is. Yes.
As a woman, I did not know that.
Okay.
But it is my birthday month, so everybody treats me nicely anyway. So I always assumed it was because of that.
I mean, multiple things can be true.
Yeah, that's true. Um, that's interesting. I wonder how it got that designation.
I don't know. I have to uh look up the story, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the best month of the year, so like I love that for us as a
Hmm.
girl. Um, but it's actually like not. It's just my birthday month, so I love it. But to me, the best month of the year is, I think I like, I don't know. What's your favorite month? It
uh,
actually might be my favorite month.
for me, it's two May and October. So
Okay. Oh, you know what? That's a better choice. I like that. Not too hot, not too cold. I'm gonna steal yours.
that's literally why I like both months. It's just the perfect temperature in both months. So
Yeah. Like I say that I like summer, but I always go into a funk in the summer at some point.
mm,
So maybe I don't like summer. How
possible. I had a coworker who essentially declared war on summer.
does that work?
She was just like, "Fuck summer. I hate summer." Like she would make every post during those months like die summer. She
Oh,
just
wow.
she just didn't like summer because it was too hot for her. So
Wow. That's aggressive.
it was, but she was like, "F summer.
That's
I don't like
so
it."
funny.
She
You
was
know how
serious, man.
she could really rebel by just going to like Bolivia or somewhere cold during the
Mhm.
summer and then she never has to deal with that.
Yeah. Mm.
I was so mind blown when I found out that Bolivia is like as cold in July as it is cold here in like December.
Hmm.
Like
Interesting.
my coworker had to go to Bolivia for work in July and he had to wear a winter coat and he was freezing.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
It is.
But nobody ever talks about that. Like, I feel like we only talk about the weather in the northern hemisphere. Like, nobody ever comments on the fact that the southern hemisphere is like the opposite. That's
Fair
pretty
enough.
on brand, I guess.
Yeah, we tend to think we're the center of the universe. So yeah,
Right. Well, we are. Just kidding.
pretty much.
But like, I find that so mind-boggling. Like nobody, maybe I just don't have any lines of communication with people in the southern hemisphere for some reason. Like, do they not use social media? I don't know. But like, I feel like I've connected with people from all over the world except for like southern South America. So I don't know.
Hmm. Maybe. Yeah. Nah, I'm trying to think of like all of
And
the
like
people that I've
nobody
met.
knows that. Like I went around all summer telling people, "Did you know it's cold in Bolivia right now?" And they were like, "Really? What? Why are you telling me this?"
Yeah, I think you just
Uh,
associate South America with like just being all tropical and stuff. So
exactly. Nokia has something to say about that. Hey, shush! Be quiet. He's looking at me like, what did I do? Yeah, it's very strange. I love thinking about weather. I know you don't, but like, I feel like we talk about it all the time because it's something that I think about a lot.
like weather events, like I've the different types of severe weather events like earthquakes and thunderstorms and whatnot, and tsunamis like those I find interesting. Not because like they're destructive, but just how they occur and why they occur. Um, but like the temperature in Hackensack, no, I don't care.
Yeah, that's true. I think temperature is the most boring part of weather.
Yeah, temperature. Temperature is the small talk of weather. I think everything else,
It
like
is.
it is, like I don't. It's like don't ask me what the temperature is. It's hot or it's not. That
Right,
and like if it's sunny. It's either sunny or it's not. But let's
right.
talk about you know in urban. Let's talk about tsunamis and hurricanes
Hmm.
and historical hurricanes like that. That I can get into.
That's true. Although I will say there's one temperature fact that really blew my mind recently, and I have been repeating this to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if you were part of this conversation, but I was talking to Steph Taylor, and she was telling me how in Canada, in Manitoba, where she lives, it was negative 40 degrees, which when it gets to that temperature, the Fahrenheit and the Celsius are the same.
Interesting.
How crazy is that? I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? It's negative 40 degrees fucking Fahrenheit. What? That is insane. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, well, what do you consider cold? I said, anything under 10 degrees. She's like, oh, but you're a baby. She's like, anything over 0 degrees is warm.
See, like when it comes to temperature, I like knowing like I like knowing the extremes. Like I want to know like what the hottest place in the universe is. Like that's kind of what I like. Like I like
In
um
the universe or in the world?
universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I look
Is
those
it
things
on
up.
Earth?
No, it's not on Earth. I mean the sun's hotter than the Earth, Steph.
That's true.
But
What's the hottest place on Earth though?
I don't know.
Oh, so you weren't even
Or-
interested in the Earth, you were just wanting to know the hottest place ever.
Yeah, like I don't care about Earth.
Wow.
It's just don't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Elon Musk.
I care about my fellow man. So there's that
Okay.
small difference
True.
between the two of us.
Yeah.
So, um, but I also if I had children, I care about my children. But again, small differences between the two of us. Um, yeah, like the dark side of the moon is like freaking what I think 275 degrees below zero. That
Wow.
actually might be a bad estimate. It's freaking cold on the dark side of the moon because
Wow.
there's never any sunlight over there. But like those types of extreme temperatures are like um,
Right.
space itself is just it's a vacuum, so it's just there's no heat, no atmosphere, no nothing.
Wow. I am scared of space. It freaks me out. Every time I think about it, I just get like, oh, it's too big for me to contemplate. I'm gonna come back to Earth now. Like, even looking at the stars for too long, I start to get freaked out. Uh,
It's fascinating to me because it's just like certain things that happen that it's hard to wrap your mind around, but it's true. Like you can go into space and like you'll literally like freeze. Just again, there's no air or anything, but it's cold. But at the same time, if you were traveling toward the sun, like there's a point where you would actually like burn up before getting to the sun, and it's still like millions of miles away from the sun, and you would burn. Because like, I
wow.
think I put into Chat GPT. I said, hey chat, what's the closest you can get to the sun without burning up? And it was like it's like millions of miles away. Like the sun is that hot.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So if
but
you went like 1 inch closer or 1 mile closer, you could burn.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But it was like it's so hot that you can essentially burn up millions of miles away from the sun. Like
That's
that
wild. And that's
is
probably
wild.
not even the hottest, like, that's probably not even the hottest thing out there.
Oh yeah, there are definitely hotter stars than the sun.
That's wild.
Hmm.
I can't even fathom that. Like, here I am, like, I can't even fathom like 100 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, that's like my relative, the most I can handle is like 0 to like 80. Well, actually, I guess it's been like 95 in New York. And
True.
I've been to Arizona and Vegas, which were both like 105. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think that my entire scope is 0 to 100 pretty much.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, like I can't understand. In terms of like temperature, like I guess like a sauna is like 200 degrees,
Damn,
I
interesting.
think.
That's
Um,
very hot.
it is, but it's dry air. So it's like, it's almost like sitting in like Arizona with the temperature turned up double.
Hmm.
Uh, that's like how my brain processes it. But, or like a pot of water is pretty hot too.
Mm-hmm.
But like beyond that, like I can't, what the fuck does that mean? Like it's so hot, you could be millions of miles away, you could burn. Like that doesn't make sense to my brain. So it's like, I just put it on the shelf. I can't deal with that. With like, along with the other things I can't deal with. Like the fact that Bolivia is cold.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Did the recording stop?
Nope, we're still recording.
I just got a notification that we're not.
Oh, that's weird.
Alright. You know what? We started to go into conspiracy theory land and it was like, nuh-uh, not
Uh-uh.
today.
That's hilarious.
I guess whoever runs Riverside has some family in Bolivia and they're not happy about us letting the world know that it's cold there in the summer.
Or maybe they have family in space and they don't like us talking about space. One or the
Oh, they
other.
could. Yeah.
One or the
That
other.
could be. Maybe one of their family members got burned by the sun.
It's possible. They might have a secret, a secret location on the dark side of the moon, and we're getting too close. So they shut us down.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
I, I like how we just created an entire conspiracy around Riverside. It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what we do. I think we, I think one goal of the Stay Introverted podcast this year is to try to come up with a conspiracy theory.
Just create a conspiracy
Create a
theory.
couple good conspiracy theories. Maybe make one go viral.
Oh boy.
Nothing harmful.
Yeah,
Just
we
like
gotta think of.
interesting.
Yeah. What? I mean, I think the CEO of Riverside having a secret house on the dark side of the moon could work.
That could work, but is it believable?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking of the moon, like space and stuff, do you know the band Blink-182?
Yes.
You know that one of them is like a consultant for, I think, the Pentagon on UFOs?
Interesting. I
So
don't
they
know.
wrote that song, Aliens, whatever, it's about aliens. And then like 20 years later, he's like a fucking UFO consultant for the Pentagon. Which, if you ask me, like the Pentagon spends a shit ton of money, so I feel like what really happened there was someone important at the Pentagon is a big Blink fan, and somehow they used their bloated budget to like bring him in as a UFO consultant. 'Cause that doesn't even sound like a real job. They were probably like, yeah, this guy loves space and I love Blink-182 and this is my one way to make this guy think that I'm cool. So I'm gonna bring him in.
That's hilarious.
How do you go from like think about like the more I think about this like fact, the more I'm
Mhm.
like this kid had this guy had a crazy imagination as a kid and he manifested not one but two really insane, impossible goals in his lifetime. He became a fucking rock star, and then he became a specialist in UFOs and aliens. Like, what's next for this guy?
Hey. It is awesome.
What can't he do?
All right. So what is this? So she's a UFO consultant.
No, he's not a fan today.
Oh,
But yeah, he's some kind of like UFO expert for like the Pentagon or something.
hmm. I mean, I want to know what that means.
I know. Like, did he? My brother actually had a lot of information on this topic, which is how I found out about this.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna have to ask him.
Yeah,
There's a story to this. There's more to this story.
there has to be.
Um, but like, what do I have to do to get that kind of job? I guess I could start with not being terrified of space.
That would probably help.
Do you think UFOs are real?
sh- I mean, why not? Like, it's a very big, it's a very large universe. The probability of us being, well, of humans, I guess, being the only like intelligent form of life to me is pretty small. Um, just because we haven't
Right,
found anything yet doesn't mean there's nothing to be found. To be found. Um, we're relatively a young species, compared to like the Earth and the Sun and everything else. So
right.
it'd be interesting if, like, like, if there was some other, intelligent life out there, but they viewed us as like primitive, so they don't even care about us.
Oh, that is interesting. Well, I wonder if maybe they're like, I sometimes think like when there's UFO sightings,
Hmm.
like if we're just like, we're in the Matrix, right? And this is some kind of like weird social experiment that they're doing with human beings. Like, let's just see what fucking happens with these little people. And I wonder if like UFOs are kind of like the creators of the experiment, like coming to check on us and see how we're doing. Like they're just coming to peek. They don't really want to talk. They just want to like check it out, see what's going on.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I mean,
Angle.
they weren't meant to be spotted necessarily, but like they were.
So they so basically they're just like bad. They're inspectors, but they're also bad at their job because they're supposed to be incognito, but they keep getting spotted.
Right. Well, or maybe they just like got lazy. They didn't realize how smart we got.
That could be a good conspiracy theory.
There we go. Like
Like
I'm
UFOs,
wondering
the
if
UFOs are
perhaps
they're just intergalactic inspectors. But they're supposed to be stealthy, but they keep getting caught.
right. And like then they just kind of have to like gaslight us for a little into pretending into like convincing ourselves that that wasn't real, it wasn't
Mhm.
legit.
Yeah, I like
Or
it.
they could, yeah, they could be like almost like, you know how like a lot of celebrities get accused of like calling the paparazzi on themselves?
Yeah.
They like communicate with their contacts on Earth and they're like, hey, like, come spot us now. We'll be here at this time. Because I think that there's a lot more UFO. I don't know. Maybe there's more UFO sightings than we know about. Or maybe we're only supposed to know about the ones that the media and the UFOs want us to know about.
Maybe.
Perhaps they're all around us and just, like, maybe there's thousands of UFOs, like all the drones, right? Maybe
Hmm.
those were UFOs. Um, but maybe there's thousands of UFOs all around us at all times. And I sound like somebody who smokes way too much weed, but I don't. I really don't. This is just my imagination. Um, Maybe there's thousands of UFOs around us at all times, and those are just like the rare ones that like like how your car lights sometimes stop working, like your tail light.
Hmm.
Maybe like their Invisishield stopped working and they were spotted. There's so many explanations.
Yeah. Maybe they exist, but they can't get to Earth because there's so much trash and shit around the Earth, and like their spaceships are like too weak to handle like something hitting their spaceship because we just have a bunch of
Ah,
there's like so many satellites and dead satellites and just space junk surrounding our planet. Who knows?
interesting. Or, wow, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Maybe, maybe they're getting too close to the sun trying to get here and they're just burning.
Oh, so they coming from the other side of the sun and they just can't get past it. Okay.
They can't get past that millions of miles where they like
They
maybe
got
it's like a really tiny strip where they like have to get through and they just keep getting burned.
they got to go around, man. That they should know better. They take it straight on. They got to go around. Like you had to go like 2 billion miles around and then then come back.
Right. I don't know. I almost wonder if it's like this voyage from like wherever they're coming from to like Earth to come do whatever they're doing.
Hmm.
I wonder if it's kind of like the explorers from Europe, like Columbus and like all the others. I don't remember the who was on the Cortez. I'm really failing. I'm terrible at history. Um, I'm trying to think Mac Pip. That was like the acronym that we learned, but I don't remember what it stands for. Uh, um, Henry Hudson was an explorer, right?
Yep.
Or, really? Oh my God! I was
Yes.
hoping that I was not going to sound like an idiot. Um. Okay, so I wonder. My point was, I wonder if the voyage from their planet is kind of like similar vibes to like the voyage from Europe to the New World.
If,
Like, had no idea what they're gonna find, and maybe they go back and they're like, "We found a bunch of aliens there." I don't know. I wonder what aliens look like. Or do they look like people? Do they look like this guy?
like what's like the dog? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, a bunch of like little Frenchies, alien
Hmm.
like creatures.
Yeah.
I like. Wow, we've spent a weird amount of time talking about UFOs and outer space.
I mean, we trying to come up with conspiracy. So this is how you start.
Yeah. I I think I'm gonna go with the belief. Like I want to know what your favorite one is, but I think my favorite theory so far is that they're actually all over the place. Like there are millions of them here, and
Hmm.
every once in a while their invisible shield stops working, and like we see them.
All right. So apparently someone is knocking at my door.
Oh, did you order food?
I did not. So
Okay.
hold on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not. Sorry. Oh, but it's okay. I feel nice. All right. The first ever like housekeeping interruption in the history of the podcast.
That's interesting. At 6:30 at night.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Oh well. Weird.
I feel like I need to come up with a conspiracy.
That might be. Someone they trying to stop us.
We're trying to stop. Yeah, we're getting too close to these UFOs now.
Too close to the truth.
Um, what's your favorite conspiracy? And then I gotta go deal with these crazy little gremlins. Oh,
I don't know. I like the dark side of the moon one.
okay. So we'll go with that. I love that. So we had a birthday episode that ended up being a conspiracy development episode.
I like it. That's kind of what we do.
I love that. Maybe next time we'll show up with our tinfoil hats and we
There,
can really come up with something good.
there you go.
I will literally purchase tinfoil just for that. Do conspiracy theorists, quick question before I go.
Mm-hmm.
Do conspiracy theorists call themselves that, or do they just wear it as a badge of honor when other people call them that?
I don't know. I think some do. Some might. I don't know.
I'll have to ask one.
Yeah. But I would guess most of them actually believe what it is they're saying.
This is true. Interesting. Well, once we become conspiracy theorists, we'll just ask ourselves.
There we go. All right, take us out before people shut us down permanently.
Oh yeah, before the Riverside and the housekeeping shut us down, we'll have to
Mm-hmm.
do that. All right. Well, if you guys love this episode, be sure to rate it, review it, share it with a friend, wish us both a happy birthday. Thank you very much. And follow us on all the podcasts. If you want to send us a birthday treat, just kidding. You don't have to give us anything. Just follow the podcast and give us a 5-star rating. That is our birthday gift to you. Our present is your present. And that is all I have to say. Goodbye. I'm introverted.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. We need more people on YouTube. And yes, stay introverted, y'all.
Oh yes, follow us on YouTube. I forgot that part. Do that.
Yes, do that thing. All right, y'all. We out.